maybe 4, 6. There we go. We got something.
Are we live? Who's live?
It looks like it.
Oh, who's live, lads?
We's live.
Who's live?
Merry Christmas, humans.
Hello, everyone. Cyber here, and I'm joined by my amazing crew of people that bring you the constant theme of Hellfighters. Um, is constant a good word still? I mean, we've skipped a bunch of weeks this year.
Well,
It
it's
will be
been a
better next
crazy
year.
year.
Yes, I blame Crazy for that.
It does sound awfully suspicious. Are you a traitor? Maxima looks at you.
Maybe.
You do
All
have the
right, so
brain talk.
That's what psychers do best. Brain talk.
because we're a little bit pressed for time, I want to give everybody a big warm thanks, but not before we get onto a recap of everything that happened since this campaign began at the beginnings of this year.
And we got 1 hour to do it. Or
It
less
all
than that.
Oh,
began when Maxima was born.
That's
well-
not that far back.
To be
Oh.
fair, she was, I think, the first character to be made. However, that's not where our story actually began.
When the
And-
sparkle was in my father's eye.
Oh my god.
Our story begins in a prisoner transport of the of Imperial enforcers that was transporting a large amount of life sentence and death sentence criminals from all over the nearby sectors of the Imperium to the orbiting worlds of of the system of Periandor. A vibrant system for the Imperium, providing it many luxuries and having many worlds of importance. However, Periandor had lied in the grasp of the Dark Powers for a long while, and the gaze of the Emperor had started becoming a smaller and smaller, dimmer and ever dimmer light in the horizon. That's when our characters arose from the bowels of the prison transport and were taken to the Spear of Xerxes, the fabled star-conquering ship of one Inquisitor Uriah Maddox. There, they were also taken in and serve the Emperor in glorious deadly service and sacrifice, or face the executioner right then and there. Prompted by one Sir Wulfer, who sought to Sir Wolf, sorry, not Wolfer. That's another guy.
Yeah, Wolfer. Maximo in his previous one. Well, Wolf was the guy that we were assigned for, yes.
Mm-hmm. And while it was a mostly accepted proposal, there were some non-player characters who perished by not taking the oath out of cowardice and fear. Then our agents were introduced to whole new gear, assigned to an interrogator and sent planetside to Castellan Rex. There, they they found themselves in an outpost, an abandoned outpost it seemed, until their interrogator arrived, and boy howdy was he a hoot. Lucas, played by Art of War, would you like to tell us a few things about the time you spent with Erwin Locke, the fabled interrogator and big game hunter?
Oh, yes. The big game hunter. The very eccentric man who left us in a station for an entire day to monitor reports. And pure boredom. Oh, what I wouldn't give to be in the trenches during that little excursion. But in terms of my actions and thus my comrades' actions, as I stated previously, we were assigned to monitor the station and stay put for the time being. I almost decided to just go wandering about, but was warned against it by the interrogator. And following orders, I proceeded back in there to monitor's duty. And made sure not to use my head as a sledgehammer on one of the streams.
So yeah,
Although-
see. Oh, sorry.
Although once we proceeded onward with what I assume you'll cover in the as our first real mission, that was fun, I will admit.
Yes, after dealing with some giant flies and enormous frogs in the swamps of Castleran, the agents took to a little adventure, helping the local town of Iblis with a megafauna problem by a local form of wildlife aptly labeled as Feligaster. Though felling the Feligaster was no easy task, they managed to do so.
Remember, we still got assaulted by those strange frogs.
Yeah, I didn't mention
And
the
he
giant.
saved our life by missing all of them, by shooting something else.
Exactly. Who knows what he was shooting?
Yeah. Then he tore off my epaulette and didn't apologize.
Yes, the Castellan Hellflies and the Swamp Nappers were all very fun encounters. But it's what came after that was really shocking. After a small excursion in the black markets of Iblis, the party found about a little bit of an underground organization helping a man known simply as... Who would like to tell me what his name was? Who remembers your first big adversary?
Was it? It was a sniper fella.
Yes.
It's not the martyr. That was another guy we hit.
I want to say his name was the Hunter, if I remember. But I
Nope.
know I'm wrong.
No,
Yes.
the stalker. I think.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
stalker. I was right. Sick brain wins.
The stalker, who, taking a shot, managed to critically wound interrogator Locke, who was then sent to the Spear of Xerxes after you very quickly got him back to the Enforcers in order to, well, be saved from fatal injuries because his time in service was not yet done.
I had faith in the Emperor and he survived.
Exactly. Though his state is still unknown to this day, we do know he has survived. Though we don't know if he's in active service right now.
Is he
However,
alive or not? I don't know.
oh, he's alive. We did cover that. I think at some point we covered that. Yeah. However, it then befell our party to follow a very tragic field report and locate the stalker. Something they managed to aptly do. Maximo and Lucas, would you like to tell us about the battle with the stalker?
Well, as we were searching for him, we lost. I think one of them got hit in the head with a round, bounced off helmet, or actually miraculously destroyed something on his hip. I missed. And one went through my ear, tore it off, and I wasn't happy about that. Then we found, I think it was actually before then, a corpse that had a speaker in it. We thought it was trapped. He
Yes.
insulted us until we found him. He was hiding on a small hill, and we bombed it, or shot at it. I
Shot,
forget.
bombed, and proceeded to blow his hands off to make sure he wouldn't try committing suicide.
Yes.
Pathetic coward.
And Maximo proved himself as a Adeptus Mechanicus Tech Priest. He fixed a radio.
Amazing summary of the fight. Upon your return with a captive stalker, you were asked to foresee his interrogation from the sidelines, as that would be your best way to meet your new interrogator, a man known by none other name than Harrow. Harrow, from the first moment of him, we can all agree, was an imposing and terrifying figure. His capabilities as a psyker and an interrogator being made clear from his very introduction, and his presence being undeniable to all. Those piercing purple eyes would not be stopped by mere black panels and false walls, as he seemed to stare straight into every man's thoughts and souls. What was the impressions of Harrow at the time?
He was very spooky.
Back to then it was more so, alright, he's a commander, I must follow his orders. Didn't think much of it at the time.
And you had some interactions with some of the other members of the retinue, having met with Lady Rowena, who would come to be your friend in all things acquisitions based.
She
As
was
the
a beautiful woman.
yes,
Scary too. But not in the mean way.
Administratum have their ways.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, you embarked with Harrow upon a treacherous journey that surprisingly saw you arriving safely to Periander Beta. And on Periander Beta, you met his scribe and, let's say, apprentice interrogator, Aralyn, a most loyal and devout follower of both Harrow the Inquisitor and the Emperor, never daring to question either of the three. I think we can all agree that Harrow had you running some weird errands and investigations at first that always seem to end up in a horribly planned shootout and, well, constant ambushes.
Mm.
It felt weird at first, I assume.
Well, knowing that Maximo got healthy that time, he's able to have his normal voice. Yes. And also, yes, it was very strange. Coincidental, they knew where we are. And knew where we are. All the time.
Yes. And pursuing one of them and to have a pick recorder managed to get you all the way to the Underhive, where you fought with teeth and claw against gene stealers and scam and heretics alike.
Well, we first got almost ran off the road with a rock grinder. Goliath truck, I think. Being chased by a fellow known as Marta with strange bubble shield and laser cannon, which tore half of our Torox in half. But we're still able to drive it. It was just missing half of it, yes?
Drive would not even begin to describe how that
It was
thing,
a holy
that thing
vehicle
was-
after the fact.
Yes, it was indeed a holy vehicle after that.
Even with Maximo's Adeptus Mechanicus tech skills, he was not skilled enough to fix it.
Well, considering it was missing half its engine block, there was no way that thing was going to be drivable ever again.
Then Maximo had to drag it.
But that's also the same combat where you found out about Aralyn's talents with a gun.
She's very talented with shotgun. Scary, but beautiful.
She should come onto some trench warfare with the Kriegers.
I think
Sure.
she had experience as such. She just never told. Or we just never asked.
Yes. And with the combined powers of Aralyn, the agents, and a man that was known as the Spider, you managed to
The
take
first
down
one,
an
of
entire.
course.
Yes, you managed to take down an entire manufactorum's worth of enemies.
Unfortunately, the spider did pass away during the engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And he did so bravely in the service of the Emperor.
He did not have enough arms for all the guns he had. For all the enemies he had to shoot.
Hmm. But he did keep his end of the bargain,
He did. He was a good
and
friend.
with the Manufactorum destroyed, your Torox repaired, you managed to get back, leaving an old warrior behind to an honorable death.
After we stole his augmatics, I think, yes?
No, he didn't steal his augmatics.
Oh, then I forget then.
The idea was flown around by the resident rogue trader, but it was quickly dismissed by the other guardsmen. Unfortunately, this day neither of them could be with us, but we wish them well wherever they are, and they
One got
are finding
executed and
success.
the other one ran away. With permission.
Mayhaps. But, after, speaking of which, after you managed to return, Haru was very much impressed and disturbed by your efforts, as he seemed to have found some very not good things on the information you gave him. To that extent, he asked you to return for an unprecedented break of a few days to nurture yourselves at the spear, which he himself seemed to have instigated and advised for to the Inquisitor. And now, once it was approved, you are all on your way to get new gear, become better equipped, learn, get some extra training, and get back into the fray.
And that's where Maximum got his heavy bolter.
Exactly.
When it's proceededly
Actually,
failing
no,
him for the rest of the scenes.
the heavy bolter was after the Stotcher.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes. I think that's where you got your augmatics when you came back from the Underhive.
No. I might have to look at the forms.
Anyway, but what's important was, before they could depart, a man that we will refer to as Interrogator Skrillex came by. That wasn't his actual name, but that's what he's been remembered as. And requested that the rogue trader would follow him into a special assignment to intercept and interrupt ongoing and incoming space traffic from the system of Periandor and to the system of Periandor. So, having his rogue trading license now,
Restored under conditions.
yes, re-established under the watchful eye of the Inquisition, we said goodbye to our rogue trader, and that was the last we saw of him. Then, Aralyn, Maximo, Lucas, and the one who was known as David embarked on an adventure to go and meet Haru again and put an end to the man known as the Martyr. However, David did not make it.
Yes. Unfortunately, we
You were
suffered
down.
an artillery barrage attack on us, and our ship crash landed.
I didn't know you could use artillery to shoot down ships with anti-air flak.
You can. It's tricky, but it is doable.
It's almost as tricky as bombing a plane with another plane.
Exactly.
Funny.
Well, and with that in mind, everybody started having growing suspicions of everybody within the organization. Haru himself phrasing that there must be a traitor among them.
An imposter among us.
Exactly. I would like to ask once again, if anybody disagrees with me on, was that the moment where serious doubt about Haru's true alignments came to frame?
Well, that was when we had to deal with the secondary sergeant on mission, yes? who gave us strange information through uncontacted
Well, that
contacts.
came later,
Oh,
but
yes.
I think people had healthy suspicions from before that.
Oh yes,
At the-
Maximo had thought, but he thought it would be otherwise bad because of traitor.
Yes. At the time, I did not fully suspect Haro, but his words did ring in my ear to question the legitimacy of those around us. So Haro I could not necessarily take out of that camp at the time.
Mm-hmm. And Aralyn was still fiercely loyal and blindly obedient to her master.
Unfortunately, this would come to bite us right in the rear.
However, it was not a long time until Haru returned to you and requested that after your miraculous survival, you should go and investigate what happened in that artillery battery. Oh, sorry, in that planetary defense battery.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
To see
we
how
were
we got shot
supposed
down.
to. Yes, well, we were supposed to
Mm-hmm.
until we were visited by until we were picked out by a
Bumped
mysterious
into.
individual. Well,
Rudely
You
bumped
say-
into.
bumped into, but they obviously knew who to look for.
They
As
barged
they
in one
pass-
of us. You,
Yep.
I think.
Yes, they passed on to me some
Strange document.
Yes, a strange document pertaining to a complex we had to visit for information.
It made information about potential imposter.
Yes. The identity of the traitor amongst our ranks.
We did go to site as advised, knowing that we betrayed the orders of our previous handler, Harrow. So we investigated this sergeant fellow. I forget his name. It's been a long time. But we found
Yes.
ourselves a scene of massacre and bloodbath. And an apartment complex, I think, yes?
Yes. When we arrived, we found no survivors of the inquisitorial squad that was sent there. Every single one of them slayed to the last.
In many
Thankfully-
different ways.
Yes.
Especially with
thankfully-
crushed heads.
Yes.
Not good.
Many are crushed heads. But thankfully the sergeant in the last ditch effort was able to hide the voice recorder's very own black box. And unfortunately, we learned the truth. Haro was the traitor.
He was the one who influenced the matter with this one fellow known as the Martyr. Don't know who Martyr is, but Harrow still was very suspicious. Many evidence, yes. But still, duty and honor of service to Inquisition still held my tongue. So I decided to go get bread later, when we decided to go lie our way, when we go meet
Yes.
Harrow.
And it
So-
was good bread indeed.
It was delicious bread. The only thoughts he's seen was good bread. I offered bread too, and he said no. I was sad.
It was around that time when suspicions were thrown left and right. Guns were pointed at either side. Aralyn, with cries of faith, on whether to believe her compatriots in arms or the words of your master. And Lucas, at the point of a gun, held by his own interrogator. That's when two more figures made their appearance. The psyker known as Muldoon and the tech adept known as Docs 404.
And I believe they were the previous survivors of previous sergeant, yes?
They were survivors of another interrogator who was working close with Harrow and had been killed in an ambush. Then Harrow accepted them as part of his retinue to repair losses in a convenient way. Muldoon and Docs. Hello there.
Hello, everyone.
Greetings.
When you were introduced, it was in a very heated moment and you had vital information about some rather bad ongoings regarding the martyr. Is that correct?
Yes, we were investigating for evidence on suspicions, but
I know they.
unfortunately,
You
Sorry.
could say someone was being a sussy baka.
I do not
Yes.
understand, but I guess.
All the information was on him. I was just there for the entertainment.
Indeed. And from what you found out, the martyr was the supposed aid of a man known as the Voice of Revolution. That's when you put it all together, the martyr, the stalker, and the voice. What you have come to understand as the triarchy of the enlightened cabal. Though later evidence would imply that it was more than just a triarchy, it was havoc.
Mm-hmm.
As all hell broke loose at the lair, Harrow fought alongside the agents, repelling the hostiles and aiding a momentary note of confidence. Using the full strength of the momentum, he advised that they go after the cultists. Nobody giving enough thought as to why he didn't just use his amazing psychic powers to delve into the minds of the driver and hold them in their steps, the agents took after them. A horrid accident later, with a lot of promethium and fire, the track where the cultists were trying to escape was nothing but ruin, and one remnant cultist that they tried to interrogate tried to bomb them. Unsuccessfully, but he tried that, and then he died. That's when a last ditch effort was performed. The whole city descending into acts of unyielding ferocity and insanity as a dark chanting from the voice of revolution began to echo across the entire system.
Mm-hmm.
Miners from Prosperia all the way to all the way to highborns and retirees in Amin's Bastion and that paradise world we don't reference often, and I forgot its name. Everybody was going insane. People started dying from both sides, and forcers trying to maintain peace as fanatics and citizens were crawling on the streets looking for blood. The fires of revolution had been lit. For the first time, it was evident that darkness had taken root within the hearts of Periandor. Our agents returned to their base to find a wounded Arlene, her legs smashed by rubble and ruin. And in that time, they were met with a wandering citizen convulsing in pain.
Yes, we also was assaulted by Spaghetti Monster too.
Exactly. The citizen would undergo a horrific transformation into a chaos spawn.
Mm.
And just when our agents thought everything was over, a hooded figure held the symbol of the Emperor towards it, repelling it back, which funnily enough would come to become an ability in another thing later, as because I'm a prophet apparently. Uh, but having repelled the beast back temporarily and given our agents the opportunity to run away, the story continued, where the agents had to accept the task to take down the martyr with the aid of these mysterious people in exchange for their aid in getting them onto the planet with Ireland alive. Would you four like tell me about your operation against the martyr?
It was a series of infiltration and information gathering. First, we followed this mysterious fellows to their hideout. We got information of how to sneak in and fight him. Then we armed ourselves with some strange equipment. I think Sparky over here, 404 I think, had himself a special scrambler grenade. Great for making eggs.
Yes,
Not
eggs
necessarily.
out of enemies' brains, but
That's
yes.
what you say, they make good omelets.
Close enough, big guy.
Food. I'm hungry. Anyways, we continue our infiltration. We almost got caught, but Maximo's lucky skills have managed to distract the guards by throwing rock at something else, and they were thoroughly distracted as we snuck by.
Ha! It must be in the wind.
Yes, it was the wind. Lampshade sneaking around, we managed to catch him off guard in his middle of a speech. We watched and then challenged him, full-frontedly, to a duel about his bad faith in whatever he believed in. Strange matter. I think he was on something, I think. Then big fight after 9 minutes wait. It was boring, but set up. I believe he assaulted us with the same vehicle that once blew up our Toroks, right? Yes?
Indeed.
He ran over our Psyker. Psyker survived though.
I do.
Then
Yes.
we all decided to destroy it with fury of the Emperor's wrath. First
And
with
me just
Psyker's
trying
melty
to
noises,
drop a grenade.
then Lucas' grenade, and Maximo's heavy bolter. And Doc's, he jump scared it.
I just poked out with a laser pointer.
He's really good with that.
He's really good,
It is very useful.
especially when you hear his theme song.
Yes, and once the vehicle was destroyed, the martyr himself made an appearance in full
Phase
force.
two.
Completely unscathed when he escaped the vehicle. He's a
And
cheater.
with me staring at him right then and there.
Then he blew your leg off with a rock. I mean, the hammer, yes.
Yes, he crushed my whole leg. I did not like this.
Neither did Maximo. Then Maximo raged and decided to shoot Lucas accidentally, but somehow helped him by healing? Strange. It was baffling for Maximo.
Strange day all around, to be fair.
I think the Emperor was watching out and was helping in some way, but I was confused. But we managed to defeat Mata with a series of fighting, Maximo flailing around and hurting himself in the process. Really didn't do much. I think Lucas had Blast's final hit, or was it Muldoon?
I
I
like-
think the guy had a heart attack. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I like to think it
Emperor
was
took
both
him.
of us combined.
He died of heart attack, yes.
But in his last moments, as if invigorated by some unholy power,
Then he
he
blew up.
rose. Yes, he rose again and pulled out the detonator. And with a last triumphant laugh, he set everything ablaze, killing his own.
And also hurting Lucas out was also, I think, knocking him out.
Yes.
Which Maximo carried him like princess.
Yes,
I
and then
like
you
to
had to slap him awake again so he could drive with one leg.
Yes. Yes.
You're lucky I can use the stock of my gun to help as a crutch during that.
We all know.
Maximo
you
offered
only
to
know.
drive, but they said I was too big for a seat.
And come on, we all know you are only using the gas pedal.
The gas,
Use-
the gas pedal and the handbrake.
Yes.
Wait,
those-
there's a handbrake in the damn thing? I thought it only had gas.
How were you drifting?
I get very
By
lucky.
accelerating harder to help bypass the turn of inertia, I think.
Yes.
Something tech priest jarble nonsense I don't understand. I thought speed goes one direction, but it says goes many.
And so, with that, you returned to receive Ireland and be sent off to the Spear of Xerxes, but on your way to receive here and your way out, you are contacted by a deep and bolsterous voice that commended your efforts and said you're fighting on the same side now, and that he will depend on you again in the future should the need arise.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The identity of this figure being still unknown, but he has assured you that he has always been there watching.
They also wanted the complete secrecy if unable to tell the Inquisition.
Exactly. Then it was, I think, a couple of weeks later when Araline was back to good health, Lucas had a new leg, and you all finally got to meet Inquisitor Maddox, who commended you, inspired you into your next course of action, and introduced you to your new Araline, your interrogator Araline.
Harrow ran away like a coward.
Indeed.
Harrow did run away, but but agents had found out he had ran to Amon's Bastion, a shrine world. But before you could get there, you had to meet a man who was mostly machine, Harus Lambda. A creepy and admittedly disturbing figure that assured you he will keep a close eye on you and rely upon you to do certain tasks for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Aralyn also informed you that you will be undertaking more tasks now as full enrolled operatives of the Inquisition.
This is also where we
Champions.
met the second spider.
Oh, you had already met Lady Rowena?
Oh, we didn't?
Yeah, after the Stoker incident, when you got your bolt gun.
Oh, yes, the second spider.
Uh-huh. And so, with that in mind, you embarked once again uh, after a small talk with Sarah Wolf, which I think happened before the whole 2 weeks thing. But either or, you did also had a talk with Sire Wolf, who told you that taking down the martyr after everything had gone the way it did was a bad decision, but he was really proud that you accomplished it. Now, on your way to Amon's Bastion, your first stop was a decadent man known as the Marquis of the Emperor's Downtrodden. What
He
were
was
your
a strange
impressions of the
man with
Marquis?
strange man with strange smells.
A giant
Indeed.
peacock.
That's a word for him. I'm sure he'd enjoy it too. What about you, Muldoon and Docs? What were your notes on the Marquis?
Hmm.
A man that
Well,
lives in extravagance and mostly holding out parties to his and his own.
well, if it's faithful to the Emperor, then yeah, sure. There are plenty of ships and arms and he's one of them.
Mm-hmm. And most certainly, he was faithful, as he was eager to see this revolution stop before it can bring an end to everything he had. Having shared some personal information and warned you of your current status of notoriety within the Shrine world, as it seems the Inquisition has been labeled by the clergy of Amon's Bastion as the secret organization undermining the Emperor's work to see the revolution within its states, and you have been appointed figureheads for ground operations at least. It
Mm-hmm.
seems that you had your work cut out for you. You went to
Yes.
Munitorum Depot following Aralyn, though it was a pretty cramped transport, and from there you got introduced to your new habitation, actual habitation. And you also found out about side quests. Wasn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
New milestone unlocked.
Yes. Now, Aralyn set you on your first task to train a bunch of, let's
Nobodies.
say, smaller agents to do some of the menial work now that you will be taking on the bigger tasks. How did that go, if I may ask?
It went well. I almost killed a man, but he survived. Then he blew up. And it wasn't Maximo's fault.
Alright, what about the rest of you?
It went well. Weirdly, they are start trusting the Psyker. Even the Zealots. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you blame them?
Ah,
It
that's
was
true.
mostly 97% successful. Some things could be better, but it worked out in the end.
And in the end, speaking of, you were beset by enforcers. And once again, Muldoon finds himself very close to a vehicle and getting beaten to shit.
It looks like it's going to be a reoccurring stuff.
We
He's
need
a
to keep
very
you
good
away
vehicle
from
magnet.
vehicles. They're bad luck with you.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, for Maximo obliterated the vehicle, Muldoon obliterated the passengers, and was all molten slag and fire by the end.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't blow up.
And
Lucky.
Luckily.
And none of the new guys died, which was
Except-
great. Well, aside from the guys on the wall who got blown up, but you know, foregone conclusions.
That was the
Um,
missing 3%.
I assumed. Oh well.
Oops.
But it was, however, interesting to find out that the enforcers backed off so quickly. Not typical behavior, especially not for a shrine world.
Mm-hmm.
And then you found that you have earned some very large bounties on your head, that some deal is going down according to some other on-field agents, and that Ireland was trusting you to get it done after you earned yourself some rest. Having been debriefed, you went into an actual undercover mission, and I would dare say it went fairly well, but would you like to walk me through the details?
Well,
Maximo
this,
had
we
an
had-
unfortunate incident of drinking coffee that day. Ogren standard coffee. I
yeah,
failed my toughness test.
as we will like to call it, the out of order speed run as he blitzed for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It was that one video of Warrior going to the bathroom.
Let's just say you don't want to go in there at
Maximo
all.
almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
And Nergal's
And-
corruption sits still within his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it stinks.
Well, at the meantime, myself, Muldoon, and Dox proceed to the upper air to the higher floors so we could procure our intel as quietly as possible, and I provided Overwatch to make sure nothing went wrong. Even though I had to hold back from blowing out a certain individual's brain matter across the pavement.
Oh, don't worry, not just
Who
you.
would that be?
One psyker bitch named Haro, who
Hmm.
decided to be a part of the meeting that we were that we were spying on.
Yeah, only there was some guy I do with that was late. Don't know what you're talking about.
There was something about talking about psychosomatic drugs.
Yes.
Yes, I'm
Well, Maximo was fighting for his life in the toilet.
Yes, an army of psychers being borrowed, quite literally, by captured criminals of the Shrine world since apparently the Enforcers are working alongside the Enlightened Cabal to some extent. Ain't that fun?
Mm-hmm. No.
So, having learned that information and seeing the capacity for what could happen, the agents returned to Aralyn, where they were told that they are going to make a plan to find where those drugs are being manufactured, take them down, burn the place to the ground, and hopefully kill Harrow in the fire. Emperor willing?
Mm.
I really like the fire part.
Yes.
I
At
assume
that
that
time,
much.
Maximo needed the fire to help fight the smell.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm putting up some little fires, burning off the bad smells and everything.
Also, I think Harrow also anointed them with the strange symbols of evil that made you somewhat fail, but also some succeed, I think.
The symbols of Tzeench were sewn upon the flesh of the enforcers to make sure that they know who they belong to, and
Mm.
to make sure that others will know when it's their time to ascend. The revolution at large, an army of psychers on the way, and Harrow still out there, was, I believe, the final moments of this campaign for this year.
Yes. Because we had a lot of delays, switches, and problems that throughout the weeks resulted with lack of development.
Yes, I would like to point out that Hellfighters was also meant to be something that would begin in December of 2022, but did not see itself beginning until January of 2023. This was due to some unforeseen circumstances, so we were not exactly eh we're not exactly unfamiliar with delays and having to cancel sessions. But we do really hope that 2024 will bring us back better than ever and ready to provide you more content than ever before. That being said, I believe unless there is anything anybody else would like to say about the story, that about wrap things up for the story itself.
Yeah, I think that should be all.
Alright, then for a last time this year around, let's go around the horn and say who has been playing who. Beginning with Big Mek Plays.
Hello, I am Big Mek Plays. Also plays as Maximo, the Ogre Warrior, the best historian with the best mustache. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
That
Yes.
mustache will never die, no
Mm-hmm.
matter
My
what.
great golden mustache protects all of us.
And where can we find you?
Uh, you can find me on Big Mac Plays channel. You can also same on Twitch as well, and the Twitters or whatever they say is X now. With some new updates with the VTube Studios and all that, I have some new effects I'm working on to make things better. And also got my model updated to actually have more movement. He can finally close his mouth. Finally.
Well, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So many flies that were lost in down that mall.
Mm-hmm. He was a mouth breather, saying his mouth was awfully dry.
Indeed. Well, next up, we have Art of War. And who have you been playing?
Yes, I am Art of War. I have had the great pleasure of playing the good old Lucas, the Krieger. And I'll say this now: when I get the chance to kill Haro, I'm taking the shot. Consequences be damned.
We need him alive.
I'm looking forward to you trying. However, next up, our little genius tech priest and and monsters jump scare enthusiast, Dr. Lilamoon, who have you been playing?
Yes, I am Dr. Lilamoon, and I've been playing as Dox 404, the flex mechanic of the group.
Excellent.
And possibly I might try to do a Twitch thing maybe, but have to wait and see.
We're gonna look forward to hearing more of that.
Indeed.
And last but not least, the auspicious pyromancer and pyromaniac, Crazebet. Who have you been playing?
Hello, welcome to everyone. I'm Crazy Pet. I was entertaining you as your favorite pyromaniac as Muldoon. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and will be enjoying everything what we are giving you, producing you. Well, just enjoy. We are having fun, you are having fun, everybody is having fun, because everything is on fire, and everything is fine.
Indeed, thank you very much. And before we wrap up with our season's, well, wishes, I would like to give a message to everybody who has been enjoying Hellfighters and the storytelling within it, and to all 40k and sci-fi fans in general, that while Hellfighters has been quite an amazing project to work on, more things are in the works that we will not unveil right now, but would like to tease you with the fact that some of us from the Hellfighters team are working on, let's say, something new and very familiar at the same time. And we hope that when the time comes to unveil it, we'll see you all there. However, with that being said, I have been Seriper, your game master, host, storyteller, and wonderful torturer of our agents. I've had a blast writing this story so far, and I'm going to keep doing so for a long while, actually, given the opportunity by my amazing players and the amazing community of Hellfighters. I will say that I will try my best to have 2024 be a more consistent year for this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it's a good time for little season's wishes. I personally would like to wish everyone who has been with us or just jumped in, or anybody who hears this message in whatsoever capacity, an amazing holidays, no matter how you celebrate them or what you celebrate. I hope it goes great for you. You have some much needed rest, relax, and get ready to tackle the new year with newfound strength.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys like to go around the horn giving your wishes?
Merry Emperor's Day, and Happy Sanguinismus, and any other holidays that the Imperials sanction.
Anyone else?
I think you summed it up really
Yeah.
good, so
Thank you. Well, and with that, we'll bid you all farewell for now. And we will meet again on Friday, the 12th of January, for our next session of Hellfighters.
Mm-hmm.
And I descend into a whole new mission of madness.
Oh yes, we are prepared. I hope Maximo's heavy bolted does not fail him. Again.
Well, Maximo, for one more time, take us away.
Oh yes. We all thank you for showing up, giving us a good watch. We'll see you next year. And remember, thank your friends and family for all what they have done for you. They're good friends, good family, and greater company. May the Emperor watch you all over and give you a good time. Have yourself a safe year, and see you around. Goodbye!
Bye bye.
Later.